So as you can see on this screen here, today we'll be talking about navigating the current market conditions, specifically the current bull run. And basically tips and tricks from our experiences on how to best capitalize on these conditions whilst trying to minimize the losses, and especially avoiding those sort of quick flushes we saw yesterday. So I'll just begin with a few general points, and then I'll pass it on to the presenters today to share their insights and their own techniques on how they trade these current bullish conditions. So usually with these sort of bullish conditions, you have to change mindset from other type of conditions, such as a range, or during low volatility, such as during the bearish conditions. So this means focusing more on the lower time frames for entries and not expecting such significant pullbacks as we did in the previous years. This also means we can use some more like mediocre support and resistance levels that we normally wouldn't use, such as the lower number EMA levels. And we can also use indicators such as the RSI to help us determine on a time-based level when the market has sort of reset and is ready to keep going. So usually RSI above 80 we know is overbought, and at that stage we can expect some sort of consolidation before continuation usually. So we saw yesterday Bitcoin move up and form a new all-time high above 70,000, and then slightly above 70,000 we saw a very swift move to the downside all the way down to around 66,000. So that is a 4,000 point move, which is quite significant, and this is what we consider as a market-wide flush of leverage, and we can see it in real time as well based on the funding rates. You can see these on the exchanges themselves as well as coinglass.com. So yesterday on the push up above 70,000, this induced a lot of FOMO buyers who longed the top, and we can see that through an extremely overheated funding rate. So above 0.10% is usually a very significant level and a red flag for an upcoming market-wide flush, and you can see that this has already decreased to below 0.02%, and for reference the neutral funding rate is 0.01%. So anything above 0.1%, 10 times above the normal funding rate, is the danger zone and is reason to be more careful, especially if it coincides with a significant level on the chart, such as the previous all-time high at 69,300. So I would like to pass it on to Neon now for him to share his insights and techniques for trading this bull run. From what I understand, he usually previously traded only Bitcoin and Ethereum, but lately he has made some really nice calls on some altcoins as well. So yeah, Neon, would you like to share your techniques for that?
Hello everyone, thank you. So yeah, I used to trade all Bitcoin and Ethereum a lot in the previous few months, but now I have basically changed my mind because the altcoin have been moving so good and the price action is even more clear, and the strength. Altcoins have gained a lot of strength in the past few weeks, and I think it's just a waste of opportunity if I don't trade altcoin in these specific bull run days. And there are definitely a lot of opportunities these days to trade this trend, to trade this bullish trend. And I can simply trade market structure and make a lot of money trading in these conditions. It's pretty easy, not gonna lie. Only if you understand how to trade the continuation set of property. Like if you see the high time when the price is going continuously up and it's not even making a red candle to give you a better entry on the high time frame. But if you go and focus on low time frame, you can see a proper market structure and retest order block filling and everything. So I prefer finding entries on low time frame, like 1 hour, maybe 4 hours sometime. But yeah, these are my time frames on which I specifically prefer keep finding my entries and exits most of the time. And in such market conditions, I prefer going for swing trades. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool. Would you mind going through or sharing one of your previous setups on an altcoin just as an example? And so we know what to
Uh,
look out for.
Give me a moment. Let me show you.
Sure, feel free to share your screen.
Mhm. Right, so I'm sharing the screen right now.
Yep.
See?
Yeah, 1 second. Yep, just loading right now.
Wait a minute. Let me do it again. Mm. Maybe my Discord is not having a good time right now.
Yeah, that's okay. Maybe I can find it in the Discord channel. So, were there any like altcoin setups you're thinking of right now?
Sure. I will start with the one in which I'm currently in. So I'm posting a screenshot in this chat. You can
Yep.
see it's on AGX basically, and the pullback which I was waiting for into the order block after the market structure break, that was my trigger to enter into a long, and you can see how aggressively the price reacted from there, and it went pretty well. And I'm also looking at a setup on RLC and another coin, XAI, RLC and XAI. And but those coins are not showing a lot of strength to me, and I think I'm pretty good in my current setups, which are on AGIX and on Solana. Let me show the Solana one.
Okay, cool. So, just a question: how do you decide
Mhm.
between which altcoins to trade?
Yeah,
Since like
good
a lot of
question.
coins are in
So,
uptrends. So, yeah.
mhm, good question. So basically, I choose the altcoins with the strongest narrative. Most like we can say AI coins, layer one coins,
Yep.
which are having the most volume right now, and they're getting the most attention on the social media and everywhere else. So this is how I choose the coins to trade. Even my watchlist is not that big. It's only few meme coins and AI coins only. Not even the layer one coins. I do find them manually sometimes, but I like keeping eye on few coins and just monitor them. And I like to find quality setups. I prefer quality, not quantity, and that's how I manage my trades these days. I only look at some trending coins like you can see AGIX, Solana is the one, and I recently got into SCI, but it already hit the TP1 and it's going pretty good as well. So I just prefer keeping eye
Okay.
on the trending coins.
See, so you do consider the prevailing narrative in the altcoins to sort of look for strength. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's really good. And you said before that you mainly look at the lower time frames for your entries nowadays. So do you use any of the higher time frame levels at all, or is it just only lower time frames in these conditions?
So to be honest, there are not a lot of things to look at high time frame these days. These are only big green candles you see on high time frame these days. So if I'm lucky enough, I can get to see a good order block and market structure break like I can see on Solana right now. We saw a market structure break on the recent weekly close, and during this during the recent sell off, maybe a pullback into an order block. So the price retested the order block pretty well. So that was my point where I entered into a long on the retest of the order block. I shared a screenshot, you can see.
Cool. Yeah, that actually does make it very clear to just look at the weekly time frame from time to time, and see if there's like a key level we can long from. Okay, cool. So thanks for sharing
Yeah,
your thoughts. And I
yeah,
also
welcome.
just wanted to add a bit about deciding between altcoins. So of course, narrative is the most important factor in trading currently during these conditions. So yeah, these sort of technical concepts, right? They're sort of dependent on the current market state, which is driven by the narrative. Leon, do you mind just muting for a second? I think there's some background noise. Thank you. So yeah, we've been in the narrative of the Bitcoin ETF as well as rate cuts for a while now, and that has meant that short setups are naturally less likely to play out, whereas long setups are more likely to play out. And that means we don't necessarily treat the technical concepts as we do the exact same way as we did, say, like a few years ago during the bearish conditions. So one way you can use to determine which altcoins are better to long can be through relative strength, specifically how they are dealing with their local levels. So I discussed the example of Engine Coin and Cyber just 2 days ago. So from this example, you can see Engine Coin is consolidating within the 4-hour fair value gap. And with consolidations, it can either go up or down, right? So it's kind of like making a prediction, whereas in contrast, on Cybercoin down here, we can see that it is already breaking past previous highs, and it is in a bullish order flow, meaning the 4-hour fair value gaps here and here are being respected. So once they are tapped, price gives a good reaction and bounces up. So this is what bullish order flow means, and this applies to order blocks, fair value gaps, and previous highs as well. So making this comparison, we can see that Engine Coin is consolidating within resistance and may require more time to make an expansive move, whereas Cybercoin we can comfortably say is currently in its expansion phase, and so we expect it to move a lot faster compared to the two. Can you guys see my screen fine right now? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Alright, awesome. Yeah, so let's have a look at the Cyber setup and just break it down a bit and just think about how we can look to replicate it in the future as well. So in the PowerPoint, it mentioned that flash outs of leverage can be a good opportunity. And you can see what this means here. So this is a flash out of leverage because it is a volatile 20% move to the downside, which wicked below the previous lows right here. So from that, we can deduce its intention was to sweep out to the long positions before enacting a reversal to the upside. So that's like the first criteria. And then the second criteria, as I said, is initiating a bullish order flow and breaking above previous highs to form a bullish market structure, referring to the price making higher highs and higher lows. So you can see from this entry, not much drawdown at all, because we entered at the expansion phase rather than the consolidation or other phases where like the price is just not moving that much. From this example, we can also see the importance of exits as well. So in bullish conditions, of course, we would prefer to keep our trades running if we get a good entry. Right, letting the winning trades run whilst we cut the losing trades early on. And this is especially important in bullish conditions because we tend to trend up for an extended period of time. So if you cut it too early, then you'll just have to enter at a higher price and at a higher risk. And we said in previous live streams that the key to achieving this is to have a predetermined trade plan and exit strategy that you understand and that you are confident in. Only through that you'll have the confidence and patience to allow the trade plan to play out and to allow the trade to keep running despite being in good profit. Equally important is knowing when to exit the market. So you can see if we didn't exit the trade at all, we would have round tripped quite a bit, about 9%. So this means we should have some sort of exit in mind, and there are many ways of determining exit levels, right? It can just be the traditional support and resistance. If there are no levels to work with, for example with Cyber, we only have this wick all the way up at $16. So in this case, a lot of people like to use Fibonacci extension levels, and these are the ones that I used here. So sticking to these take profit levels, you can leave a runner as well in case it expands even further, but it's important to trim the position and move your stop loss up. Otherwise, you'll find yourself round tripping a lot of trades. So in the end, it doesn't matter if a trade was up, say 100% or 200%, if the ending outcome is you close it with no profit or added loss. It's only the outcome of the trade that matters. So it's important to keep that in mind and to stick to the plan. Don't get too greedy, trail up your stop losses and have predetermined exit levels. Right? And in case of these sort of trending conditions, we just trim the position and allow for a partial position to catch the remaining move. Also just wanted to discuss trading after a flush out. So these can be definitely very good opportunities to trade because at that point we are confident that about 80% of traders got wrecked. So yesterday I shared a tweet about Bitcoin open interest. So I believe in the tweet it said something like $980 million change in just 4 hours, which is quite an insane number. So right here. So what we saw right after this tweet was this move right here. So this tweet was sent around right here, and pretty much in live time what's happening is we have early shorts which have layered orders maybe layered at the resistance level around 68,100. They got filled and they're starting to get nervous. And then we have more short orders layered at 69,300. So what we saw happened was price broke above previous all-time highs, went above 70,000 by about 300 points. And then right after that, massive dump, very volatile move, and down 4,000 points in a matter of minutes. So what happened there is shorts get stopped out, and then FOMO induced longs at the top here get wrecked immediately and liquidated. And we can see that happen in lifetime from the funding rates, which dropped from 0.10% down to 0.02%. So Yeah, so that's what I mean by these are good opportunities, because we know that 80% of traders likely got wrecked already. And when traders are wrecked is when the market initiates its true move, usually. It may be an entry opportunity, so that's what we're talking about now. So, Neon, do you have any thoughts on entering the market after a very volatile move like we saw yesterday? Or do you usually wait?
Yeah, so I think,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good opportunity in my opinion. Like if I speak about the recent setups on AGX, the point where I entered the market, it was right after the flush out. So I know the setup is bullish. I know where the price is currently moving is a bullish order block, and I know the market structure is bullish, everything, and I just entered because I know the market has already flushed early shorters, sorry, longers, and it's a pretty good opportunity in my opinion to enter after a flush out, and because most of the traders at that time are either planning to short or maybe already they got wrecked. So
Yeah, that's
it's
a good
most
point.
a
Yeah.
flush out is most likely a manipulative move, and it's a pretty decent opportunity in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, so definitely with these sort of moves on Bitcoin, right, 4,000 points to the downside, this is actually even more volatile on altcoins. Well, sometimes it's more volatile. So on altcoins, it can drop as much as 30 to 40% through a wick to the downside. So definitely what you can do is pretty much set trading view alerts at key levels. So pretty much, for example, here we have the equal lows, the support level at 66,800, where many long orders will be set, where many stop losses will be set, and also a level where people are looking to go short. So set a trading view alert by drawing a horizontal line, right click and add alert on horizontal ray, and then TradingView will send you a notification once this level has been crossed. We can do this for a move to the upside as well. So for example, previous all-time highs, set an alert and get notified when this is hit. And usually the market is extremely volatile with these sort of levels, those sort of key liquidity levels, right, where we understand it to be support or resistance, where many traders will have their order set. So if you have these notifications on, you'll be alerted to when there is high volatility in the market and potentially a good scalping opportunity. Or if you're a swing trader, you can wait for the criteria of a long to play out, which is sweep below the lows, funding rates decreasing towards 0.01%, the neutral rate, open interest decreasing significantly, and followed by a strong buyback and market structure shift on the lower time frames. So what this means by strong buyback, so from the 15-minute perspective, it looks like a V-shaped reversal. On the 5-minute perspective, it looks like a break of a high to form a higher high, and also forming a higher low to initiate a bullish market structure on the lower time frames. And another point is, in bullish trends, a flush out day is rarely followed by another red day. Obviously not a certainty, but it's a good trend to notice. So that's why we say that being patient, not giving in to FOMO, and waiting for these opportunities is a good way to trade and presents very good risk to reward, and also very good setups with higher probabilities. And another method to take advantage of these volatile moves is through setting low bids. So that means limit orders. So we actually have an example yesterday from Shinobi on Atom. So he set a limit order earlier in the day at a price of $12.93. So let's have a look. So $12.93 is around here. So you can see price momentarily went below that level, filled his limit orders, and bounced significantly, up 4% already. So this is the sort of like positive of low bids, because they can play out extremely quickly. So order filled, immediate bounce to the upside in the next candle, V-shaped reversal on lower time frames. The downside to this is you need to get the level correct. Otherwise, you can get filled and then immediately stopped out. And that's happened quite a few times before as well. So let's have a look at the Atom setup for Shinobi earlier in the day, before we even got the move from Bitcoin to 70,000, then back down to 66,000. So low bids using Fibonacci retracement levels, key levels, and in confluence with support and resistance, such as breaker blocks. So you can see here the setup is to take a long entry from the golden pocket level, 61.8% retracement. So the Fibonacci is anchored from, I believe, the swing low preceding the energetic move to the upside to the peak of the price at $14.40. So from around $12 to $14.40, because this is the swing low that preceded an expansive move to the upside that broke above previous order block resistance and previous highs. So this is how he anchors the Fibonacci levels. So after selecting the high and low for the fib, he selects the golden pocket retracement level at 62 and 70.5 for his entry at $12.93. And this is in confluence with a breaker block. And to keep it simple, breaker block is basically resistance flipped into support. All right, we can see here, price previously was unable to break above this $13 level. And from $13, we had a move to the downside that was quite significant and stripped out sell side liquidity, meaning the stop loss of long orders before initiating a reversal. So that's basically what a break block is. Previous resistance flipped into support, marked by the green candle before a big move to the downside. Anyways, so that was the setup, and you can see from his entry point, it gave an immediate reversal to the upside, and it's always nice when a trade is green immediately. You can move stop loss to your entry, basically take no risk on the trade, and pretty much that is how you go about to do it.
It's important to say that a big reason why this move works is because so many traders do it, and so you have so many limit orders in there that they actually do break the fall and create the bounce.
Yeah, definitely. Good point. Thanks for that. Okay, looks like we have Primal in the voice call as well. So I would like to hand it over to him now for him to share his insights and techniques for trading in these bullish conditions. So are you available to speak now, Primal?
Yeah, hello?
Hello? Yep, I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, all good.
Yeah, so as we all know, right now we're in a bull market. I'm more of a swing trader, by the way. So I tend to trade on the higher time frames. like to use a daily, 4-hour, and 12-hour. I think with everything that's going on right now, we should be sticking to the higher time frame. A lot of coins are nearing a breakout level, and we're seeing a lot of box breakouts. And so I think right now it's really important to understand that it's not just about your losses, it's about your mindset and your risk. Because those moves shouldn't force you into a panic to close your position. You know, these are opportunities that we're seeing, so you can add on to your position to strengthen those trades that you have. And the quicker you learn to embrace those prices over candles, I think the more successful you'll be overall. I think you want to add, and when your risk is under control and you're patient and you are able to read the market with a calm mind, you have the opportunity and your action is clear. So I think bad risk management, too much size, too much leverage, forcing you to close your positions, like all of these are just bad traits to have, and everyone should understand that fluctuations will be frequent and they'll always be recovered in a short span of time. So it's important to be patient. And I think a lot of people make mistakes trying to fight the trend, right? Many have gone like broke if they gone liquidated, trying to short the pullbacks when they should have been looking for new entries, as we've been seeing with Bitcoin. I feel like everybody's also trying to overtrade. Everyone's trying to catch the new trend, the new coins. I think it's better to just focus on a select few and just trade those. The more you trade them, the better you'll understand them. And we shouldn't be afraid to hold our positions for a while, right? You want to let your winners run. But at the same time, you also want to use the stop loss because nothing is certain. The bull market could end tomorrow, it could end in a week, in a year. But it's always important to use a stop loss so you can limit your downside. And a lot of people are trying to guess the top, but most likely you won't succeed and you'll lose a lot of money trying to do that. So when a coin is in price discovery, I think the only tool we can really use, in my opinion, is just market sentiment. And so you should really be incorporating those tools. So a trade that I'm in right now is in FIL, FIL, 50T. Let's see if I could find it.
Sure, can you post a screenshot in the chat? And after you talk about FIL, I just wanted to ask you just about some of these charts you've shared in the chart channel, which has played out according to your analysis quite nicely. So I just wanted to ask about how you sort of frame these analysis, especially on the higher time frames to catch like a significant move, such as on NEAR as well.
Take it on right now. See if I can share my screen. Okay, here we go. So this is one of my ongoing trades right now at the moment. FIL.
Yeah, sorry, one
This is the
second.
view for 12 hours.
I think the stream isn't loading just yet. Can you try streaming in a lower resolution? Maybe like 720p.
If anything, I'll just send a screenshot to the chat.
Yeah, screenshot works as well.
Go. I just sent it.
Yep, I can see it. All good. So, yeah, what was your thoughts behind this setup here?
Yeah. So I got in like about 2 days ago. This trade was based off the high time frame breakout. It's an Adam and Eve pattern that I posted in the watch list as well. As we can see, that box, the gray box, it's in a big area of support and resistance. And these two red lines are the daily EMA 100 and the daily EMA 200. And so I am an EMA trader, and ideally you want to use these EMAs to determine the momentum for the shift in the market. And every time you see these EMAs cross over, you can determine whether it's a bullish crossover or a bearish crossover. And if you just zoom out on the higher time frame, it's just easy to see where the market's going to be trending towards. In this case, the EMA 200 and the EMA 100 is bullish momentum. And you can use, well, I use and also underside retest on that area of resistance, the left of it. And like it on the price. So this trade posted in members alerts. I literally this in 980. And then right now it's already up to around $11.70. It's around a 17% move. But we did get that flush, and originally my position did get stopped out. So I decided to go back in. I saw in a lower time frame that we tested that area again of breakout, and we held, consolidated, then we moved up. So this is one of my trades.
Yeah, awesome. That's a very nice trade. So yeah, pretty much to sum up, yeah, that's a very clear level on the higher time frame weekly chart. So yeah, definitely, even though we may be a lot more focused on lower time frames, yeah, definitely some coins do present these really nice setups. So really good job on catching this one. Yeah, so this also shows that we don't necessarily have to look at the coins that are just pumping non-stop and continuously making new all-time highs. In fact, like the coins which are sort of lagging behind or just been consolidating for a while can be hidden gems as well, and make its move in due time as well. So for example, this right here, in the weeks previously, it was obviously not performing as well as like these sort of shiny new coins. But with a eye on the weekly key level right here, we can see that Primal has taken advantage of this very clear setup, and it's now providing an expansive and quick move to the upside. So that's a good point. Thanks for sharing that. So I think that covers about all the key points we wanted to talk about today so far. So pretty much framing setups on lower time frames, relative analysis, relative strength between altcoins, analyzing that using market structure and order flow, and then also some indicators we can use to help us stay away from these flush outs. So funding rates, greed and fear index, open interest, coinciding with price action analysis. So if you use these tools all together and in the right way, it can prove to be very accurate and useful. And we also talked about how to take advantage of these volatile moves. So generally in a bullish condition, we want to wait for the flush out to occur and then enter a long afterwards. And we discussed why it is such a good opportunity. And that's because in these flush outs, traders are clearly already liquidated. So there's like less passengers on the move to the upside. And that's usually when the price initiates its true expansive moves, especially on altcoins. And if we catch such a good entry like this, we can definitely afford to hold the trade for longer rather than entering late and high, which carries greater risk due to the potential of a flush out and being shaken out of our positions. And so the technique for entering after a flush out leverage is much the same, but just focusing on the lower time frames, identifying the key levels, seeing how it's reacting, keeping an eye on indicators such as funding rates and open interest, and just basically watching for a strong buyback and market structure shift. Another way to take advantage of these flash outs we discussed was low bids, and Aurelien mentioned a great point about how these work out very well due to the abundance of limit orders placed at the key levels. And we went through the example from Moist Shinobi just yesterday on Atom, which filled his limit order and had minimum drawdown for a bounce. So we have a question from David. So Primal, can you please explain the EMA lines again? So the crossovers. Do you mind just discussing that real quick again?
Yeah. So yeah, collection of averages. You can that the
I think the connection isn't too good. Let me just check the settings. Yeah, it doesn't seem like I can change the settings. Right now, region is automatic. Yeah, we can't actually hear you right now. Can you try speaking again?
Okay, that's enough season. Again.
That'll be good. Good to see you here. So pretty much what Primal was discussing before about the EMA lines, David, is he uses the 100 EMA and 200 EMA on the higher time frames like the weekly chart, and he watches for a bullish crossover for an early sign of a reversal and to basically start looking for long setups marked by the key levels. So you can see here the 200 EMA did cross above the 100 EMA on Filecoin early 2024, I think. So that's just how he uses the EMA lines, if I understand it correctly. Okay, awesome. So let us know if there's any more questions about the things we discussed today. This session is being recorded and will be uploaded on YouTube, so you can check back on it later. We'll also create an educational post with this PowerPoint slide for your future reference. But definitely with these sort of concepts, with any concepts, it's important to observe it happen and take note of it, and basically try to anticipate it and capitalize on it when it shows up again in the future. So these leverage flush outs will always be happening in these bullish conditions, just due to how much open interest there are, how high the funding rates can get. So these sort of techniques can do you very well for over the next few months or year or two during these bullish conditions. Neon is pointing out that usually such moves on Bitcoin can cause the price in altcoins to move into a proper demand zone. So yeah, that's a very good point. Let's have a look at some examples then. So Neon is referring to okay, so earlier this week we had a very volatile move where Bitcoin rejected off 69,000 and went below 60,000, and logically that does wipe out a lot of traders, because 60,000 will be the natural support level, and price went all the way down to 59,000. And in that case, then we can expect that longs have been flushed out, and simultaneously that altcoins have moved into their proper demand zones. So we have AGIX here coinciding with the flush out on Bitcoin, and we can see that this filled Neon's limit order at the 4-hour demand zone. So yeah, this is kind of like what we discussed before about low bids. Low bids we don't expect to fill until we get this sort of flush out, and we basically what we want to see is exactly like this, the level being tagged and respected, and a very strong buyback from that key level. Another example on Solana. So I believe this is an entry from the weekly point of interest, weekly order block, and then entering long after a strong buyback and V-shaped reversal on the lower time frames. So definitely a very good example, and this did also coincide with the flash out earlier this week on the 6th of March, I believe. So yes, on the 6th as well. So yeah, definitely look, many different ways to capitalize on these flush outs in the market, and again it does emphasize the importance of patience and not giving in to your FOMO when you see something just pumping non-stop. Obviously you can still make profit from chasing price pumping up, for example on meme coins, but my opinion is that it's just less consistent, because you're not really working with a reliable and proper setup. So you're more likely to just make the wrong decision, such as holding too long or closing too early. So in my opinion, staying patient for these flush out of leverage is one of the best ways to take advantage of bullish conditions, alongside continuation setups such as the one I shared on Cyber just 2 days ago. So I think that pretty much wraps up the key points I wanted to cover today about the key techniques for trading in bullish markets. So what I wanted to move on to now is some analysis of coins. So you can drop any coins in the chat for us to analyze, and I'll also ask our presenters today to share their current watch list and go through their insights for it. So Leon, is there any coins on your watch list right now that you're keeping an eye on for entry?
Yeah, I'm keeping eye on RLC for now, but it has already filled my entry point. But to be honest, I have not entered into the trade right now because I already have three active trades at the moment, and I don't want to keep adding trades and keep stacking it without finding exit for of the remaining open trades. So I'm just ignoring those setups. But let me just share the screenshot.
Yeah, that'll be great.
It's a pretty clear setup, but yeah, my discipline is telling me not to do it. You can see the chat. I have shared it.
Yeah, awesome. So RLC, right? Okay.
Yeah. It's
So
an AI
can you
coin.
run through the setup? Yeah. So I have the setup for RLC on the screen now. Do you mind just going through your analysis and thoughts behind it?
Recently, we were speaking about the quick flush outs and then aggressive buyback, which caused the market structure shift. The case is pretty much the same here, and I think it's not a bad setup at all. It's like an A setup, a pretty good setup overall, and the price actually tapped the high time frame fair value gap and went back instantly above the previous swing high and broke the market structure bullish. So that is mainly the key idea of this setup, and if it can hold above the previous range low, I think it's pretty good to go above maybe 4.8 or $5.
Yeah, awesome. So definitely quite a clear setup, and one to keep an eye out for an expansion in the coming days or weeks. Was there anything else, or just RLC for now?
That's the only one I'm not keeping eye on any other coin because I already have ongoing swing trades for now, and so I'm just chilling right now.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. It's definitely important to keep an eye out on your open risk at any time. So you don't want to open like too many positions, risking your entire portfolio in case of a unexpected flush out, which can destroy the entire portfolio. So it's definitely responsible risk management to ensure that you understand how much risk is open, and if you have too much open, you just stay out of further trades. So we have a few coins in chat to look over. We have Pendle, Atom, and Link. So yeah, let's have a look at it now. Neon and Primal, if you have any thoughts on it so far, feel free to share it.
Oh, I would like to say something.
Yep.
A few minutes ago, I said about something about the narrative basically. So the trending narrative always have the highest volume in it, and it moves faster, it goes faster, and even in such bullish conditions when the funding rate is so high, you need to find a coin which is fast enough and which is strong enough which can reach your targets pretty quick rather than some other slow and least trending narrative coins. Just like this one, we can see the price moving for 2% and taking a lot of time as compared to other coins. But overall, the setup looks clean, and the price actually swept the sell side liquidity during the flush out, and it actually went above The fair value gaps are holding pretty well, but it's not too good in my opinion for long at this point because we have much better opportunities in the market. If you look at some trending narrative coins, and you can see even much clean setup like the RSG. I just found it a few hours ago, and it's pretty clean rather than this candle which have slow movements in its price and not a very clear market structure overall.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So in terms of what we expect, it does lean towards bullish just due to the sweep of the sell side liquidity and also the inversion of the 4-hour fair value gap, indicating bullish order flow. So as I said before, bullish order flow is support being respected and resistance being ignored. So this bearish 4-hour fair value gap was broken through, whereas the bullish 4-hour fair value gap that was formed bounced the price up. For now though, we have this next fair value gap which has provided some resistance. So my projection is just leaning towards bullish, but yeah, there are probably better opportunities elsewhere for now, but we can still see a continued pullback into upside continuation. So moving on to Atom next. Do you have any thoughts on this coin as well, Neon?
Yeah, let me just take a look at the chart.
Sure.
On the 1 day time frame, the price is currently trading into the fair value gap, and it recently broke the previous swing high, which is definitely a sign of bullish order flow and some strength as well. So there's also a bullish order block very close to the current price, and according to my system, I would love to see the price within that fair value gap, order block, to look for some more bullish signs and some manual triggers if I ever want to long Atom at this point. But overall, the price looks pretty bullish to me, and as we know, Atom's price action, it's it's a pretty good opportunity if it pulls back a little more, and then starts showing some strength over there. So it's looking pretty decent
Yeah.
at the moment. Not gonna lie, I will keep eye on it as well.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So as you said, daily time frame is bullish order flow, broke above previous highs. Also, locally we have a good reaction from the golden pocket retracement. Now it's 62 and 70.5, and also from the breaker block, so some extra confluence. So seeing a positive reaction like this is definitely a good sign for some upside continuation. So we can definitely see it moving towards 15.24 in the near future. And the reason the Fibonacci is pulled like this is just we pull it from the swing low preceding the energetic move to the upside all the way to the peak swing high. And next we have Link. So do you have any thoughts on Link at this moment?
Yeah, so let me just take a look at the chart. It looks pretty good at, not gonna lie, that's a good looking chart on weekly time frame, and on the daily time frame the price actually respected the bullish fair value gap on the weekly time frame, and it looks pretty much ready in my opinion. All we need is a low time frame shift and some volume definitely.
Yep.
Keeping eye on the current market structure, the market is maintaining the bullish structure and making higher highs, and it recently swept current low and tapped the fair value gap as well. So definitely a lot of traders has been stopped out in this move, and it might be a good opportunity if it shows some sign of strength or maybe a bullish trigger to me along, and we can easily target above almost $22 or maybe more.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with this as well. So what we have on the 4-hour as well is a really good like bullish pattern, which is a sweep of equal lows that also filled in a fair value gap, which was also a fair value gap on the daily time frame. So in this aspect, it checks the list for an upcoming expansion. So it swept out some long positions. It filled out the imbalance below. So naturally, we expect a move to the upside next. On lower time frames, it does seem to be a bit choppy. So with Link, we've seen that lower leverage tends to be the way to go, and having the patience to hold it for the expansion. It may take several days or even a week or two. So that's why low leverage is a good idea for that. And we have Neon's chart here on the weekly to demonstrate his thoughts here. So that is sweep of the low and a good bounce from the breaker block and weekly fair value gap. And looks like the weekly candle will be closing as a bullish hammer candle. So all the higher time frames check the boxes and is looking pretty decent. Okay, we'll do Dogecoin next. And it's pretty funny because I had a swing long position from mid-February, and then I pretty much closed it near break even when it round tripped, and then now it's like 100% above my entry, but that's just how it is sometimes. Alright, so do we have any insights on Doge right now?
So the meme market is pretty hot right now, and we all know the investors are getting into the meme coins. And Doge is one of the biggest meme coins and one of the most famous retail coin as well. So while the price was moving into the 69,000 all-time high area, we knew that it will attract more and more retailers into the market. And Doge is a retail coin, and several of the meme coins as well. And we are witnessing a meme season right now, and Dodge is one of those. So it was pretty obvious that the money is gonna flow into meme coins, and all the meme coins went up. So looking from the technical perspective, I think that the meme coins are not done right now. There's not a lot of things to look at the chart right now, but we are definitely gonna consolidate right now and form some bullish structure. And I will keep eye to catch some of the top meme coins for now. And Dodge is on my checklist as well, but due to high market cap and you know slow movement sometimes, I prefer keeping eye on Pepe and Loki, which are much more volatile than Dodge and SHIB. So that's it in my opinion. But I think it's gonna consolidate before the next expansion. It's not done yet.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. And yeah, definitely you raised a great point there about narrative. So narrative is the most important aspect of price movements. Narrative is what fuels all these volatile and expansive moves. And definitely we have a basket of meme coins. So Doge and SHIB actually look kind of similar. So what we can see is just if you can draw a triangle, right, that means consolidation. So it looks like it does need some more time before we can see the expansive move. On the 4-hour, we don't really see too much. So yeah, so like sideways price action, right? It's kind of hard to call a setup as this. Usually, we just react once it has like swept a key level and provided a reaction. So for example, here, if it momentarily goes below 14.6, right, and gives a strong buyback, that's a really good trigger for a long position. And similar thing on SHIB coin as well at 0.029. You also mentioned that Floki and PEP are much stronger, and that's quite obvious just from the candle closes and the market structure. And if you're unfamiliar with trading these sort of charts, you don't really have to. But usually the best way to do so is just switching down to the lower time frames and using RSI and similar sort of tools to help you gauge an entry point. So this indicator here is kind of similar to an RSI. It helps identify divergences, and you can see here that this divergence provided a good pullback entry for the next expansion leg. So that's kind of just a tip on how to trade these sort of vertical charts, right, where you can't really see any setup on the higher time frames. So we have Aave next, which is the DeFi sector. Let's have a look. So here, this indicator is not really available right now. It was part of the CryptoTraders indicator set back when it was still available, which is discontinued now. But I think there's a really similar indicator. Yeah, I forgot the name of that though. I'll check in a second. So Neon, can you have a look at Aave as well? AAVE.
Yeah, so I was keeping an eye on that coin as well a few weeks ago, and I'm actually loving its weekly time frame chart as well. So you can see the clear breakout after forming I guess, a ascending triangle pattern and clear market structure break, and then the price fell back into the breaker block and reacted pretty well from there. And we are currently witnessing a bullish range breakout from there, which is pretty bullish for midterm. Maybe we can see the price moving into the 270 area in some weeks, maybe. So overall, I'm a fan of its weekly time frame chart, and there is not much to look at the hourly time frame. We saw a bearish swing failure pattern on the 1 hour time frame, and there, to be honest, there's not a lot of things to look at it. And if we ever want to uh, place an alert for a long setup, so I think it would be within the 4 hour fair value gap, which is formed within the 4 hour bullish breaker block. Let me just share the chart as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. So the weekly chart, yeah, it looks very clean, in fact. So when the higher time frame looks bullish like this, we form a bullish bias and look for long entries on the lower time frames, such as 4 hour and 1 hour. It's just relative to the weekly time frame that 4 hour is the lower time frame, and definitely set your trading view alerts for the 120 price zone, because it coincides with a breaker block plus fair value gap, which is a really good entry point usually. And here the indicator for something really similar to this is called Market Cipher. There's a free version called VMC VMC Cipher B plus divergences. So this one. So yeah, it looks like this. Alright, cool. Is there anything else to look at? Send any requests in the chat. Okay, we'll check out XLM as well. So Neon will be back in 10 minutes. So I'll just talk about it. And Primal, if you have any thoughts on it as well, like such as on the higher time frames, feel free to talk about it as well. So beginning on the sort of daily time frame, right, we can see like very clear resistance level at this blue box, and you can see that the price broke above it, and then following the flush out went back below all the way down to 0.11. That must have been quite difficult to trade, but at its current point, as long as the price is above and closing above this level here, I believe it is in its expansion phase, and we can look for long entries on any pullbacks or any valid setup on lower time frames. So yeah, generally I have a rule that like these sort of key levels, if there's 2 candle closures below the level, then that invalidates it. So what we have right here is only 1 candle close, so that means we still have a pretty simple support resistance flip. Resistance flipped into support in play. I have a question about how do you check how each sector is doing. So that's kind of like difficult to do on your own. So that's why we have the main chat, watch list, and charts channel here in CryptoTraders, where we can, where we as a community can help each other keep an eye on these different sectors. But pretty much sectors refer to like coins that are grouped together, right? Such as DeFi sector, where it's Aave, Comp, and maybe a few others, and the gaming sector like Engine Coin, Mana, and Sandbox, and there's probably some newer ones, but yeah, those are just the ones I can remember as well, and also OGN. Pretty much like those coins move together, so you can just analyze one of them, and if one of them looks ready to expand, most likely it will bring the others in the basket to move along as well. And also another concept during bullish conditions is rotation of money from one sector to another. So for example, after an expansion move in the DeFi sector, we can perhaps see money flow onto another sector like meme coins or the gaming sector. So we'll check out Bonk and QNC as well. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, David. Yeah, we do aim to keep it simple so we can all look to understand and incorporate it into our trading. So on Bonk, it's looking very similar to Dogecoin and Sheepcoin as well. So I said regarding those two, when you can draw a triangle on the price action, basically converging trend lines, we wait for one side to give a reaction before entering a trade. Or you can keep it simple and just take position from the trend line. I find that in bullish conditions, like trend lines, especially on meme coins like these, actually tend to do quite well. So yeah, that's something you can do. Personally, I'll probably look for a move below this trend line, followed by a strong buyback, before considering a long position. And also, Neon mentioned before that in the meme sector, Floki and Pepcoin is outperforming the others. So perhaps there may be better opportunities in those two coins compared to these here. So looking at QNT now. So it has a fairly bullish sort of price structure on the daily time frame. So what I mean by that is sweep of equal lows and a powerful retracement of the sweep, but not closing below the sweep level. Usually that's a bullish pattern. So I'll just draw out an example to make it more simple. So for example, say this is a support level. Price has bounced from this level several times, and traders identified this as support and placed their stop losses at this level. So price would sweep below this level, give a decently strong buyback, and then we have a very strong and heavy retracement back to that level before expansion. And that's a bullish price action structure because this heavy retracement serves to scare off many traders and close their positions near break even before fully sending it to the moon. So that's what we have right here. It's looking fairly promising, but it's also worthwhile to note we have equal highs here and daily fair value gap, which the price has rejected from so far. So we're seeing quite a strong pullback. So how do we take an entry from pullback? We can use Fibonacci retracement levels. And as I said before, we anchor it from the swing low immediately preceding the energetic move to the upside to the peak swing high. And then that would be around 113. Okay, yeah, Neon, David has a query about your trade on Bonk. Do you mind providing an update or your thoughts behind the trade for as it is right now? So 1,000 Bonk.
Is it about the recent one?
Yeah, your recent call out for Bonk.
Sure. Yeah, based on the structure, definitely it tapped the daily order block and reacted pretty well from there and broke the local structure as well. And after tapping the bullish order block, filling out the fair value gap as well, it reacted pretty well in my opinion, and that's why basically I thought I felt it can basically outperform some of other meme coins and perform pretty well. Let me just share the chart as well.
Yep, that would be great.
So if you can see the channel,
Yeah.
the price actually went for an all-time high and came back into the daily order block. After tapping the order block, it bounced pretty well and then tapped it again, and it basically held the previous high area, previous local structure, and recently it broke the local market structure as well. So basically that was my point of view on Bonk. It's not a very good setup, but I think I would be lucky enough if I can snipe the flow on this one, and it can go pretty well according to how this meme market is currently reacting.
Yeah, thanks for that update. And yeah, you said before as well that narrative is the most important factor behind price. So with the current strength on meme coins, right, perhaps we can see Bonk making its expansive move to the upside as well. Okay, cool. So I think we've covered all the requests in the chat so far. Is there anything else? So any questions or coins to analyze, just feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll look to wrap it up pretty soon. And no worries for the questions, David. Makes it a lot more interactive and makes the stream better, so that's very good. Alright, so for next week, we intend to release a schedule tomorrow regarding the streams for next week. So with this voice chat here, we're looking to have the team do streams more often. And it can just be live trading, live analysis, or covering a particular topic. So we'll look to get all the scheduled times and information settled tomorrow, and we'll send out an announcement. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So yeah, we are into the weekend now, so not much point with live trading, but next week you can expect a few streams for live trading, probably the New York session, and we can talk more about like finding entry points live, as well as trading around the high volume times, which is New York Open and London Session Open. We have a question from Broski that researching market greeds and other ratings is always necessary before entering a trade, even though the chart looks good. So the market flashouts, obviously it doesn't happen like every day or even multiple times a week, right? It's fairly rare, maybe like once every 2 weeks or something like that. So you can often get away without checking the indicators like funding rate and open interest and fear and greed. But in my opinion, it doesn't take too long to check these out, and it's on the exchange charts anyways, like the exchange trading terminals. So you might as well have a look at it, right? So you check the funding rate on Bitcoin and see where it's at. If it's at like 0.10% or above, you got to be a bit more careful and manage your positions accordingly. So yeah, it's not necessary, but it's good practice to do. And if we're not in a bullish condition as we are right now, it's also important to keep an eye on red folder news from the US, such as CPI, non-farm payroll, and FOMC. You can find these on Forex Factory and just filter it into red folder news only. Personally, I find that only the three of CPI, FOMC, and NFP has any effect on the crypto market. In fact, yesterday we did have NFP released at 8:30 a.m. EST, and it didn't really have any effect on the market. So that's why I'm not mentioning it too much. And it's just due to how strong the narrative in crypto and how strong the bullish trend has been lately that we don't really need to take into account these red folder news. But during like more consolidating and ranging conditions, yeah, it's worthwhile to have forexfactory.com bookmarked. And last point to raise also is how to identify opportunities. So I mentioned before about analyzing market structure. Another way is actually through comparing open interest. So we have a pinned message in the main chat to help you find that. Pretty much, if you notice a spike in open interest on an altcoin, usually on like 4 hour, it indicates a build-up of positions and potentially a trading opportunity. So just a quick point to end it. Alright, cool. So that's about it for today. Thank you all very much for attending this stream. We look forward to future streams more often starting from next week. Watch out for the schedule to be released tomorrow in announcements, and definitely attending these live streams is a good way to gather insights from different traders and look to apply it to your own trading. So you're all doing very well to attend this stream today. Thank you very much. And also thank you very much to our presenters Neon and Primal for sharing your insights and knowledge. That's very much appreciated, and some very good insights being shared today. So thank you again. Have a nice weekend, guys, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.